They say silence is golden, but out here in Iron Valley, it's more like oxygen. The kind you breathe in so deep your lungs ache because there's nothing but clean prairie cottonwoods, maybe a stubborn elk stomping through the grass, and a sun so bright it bleaches the bones of old fence posts. And that silence. Out here, it's sacred. I bled for it literally and otherwise. After years in places where silence meant something else entirely, IEDs, dust, adrenaline. Now it's the whir of bees and the creak of a sun-baked gate swinging under prairie wind that's got me feeling alive again. 120 acres fenced and powered, irrigated, watched over. Iron Valley Acres. Not a marketing name, just what I welded onto the sign out front after one too many mugs of black coffee. No golf carts, no newsletters with cartoon robins on the cover. Just me, the land, a few cows, solar panels, and a dog named Whiskey with more trust issues than I care to admit. I was out there one morning fixing a stretch of perimeter fence. The wind had knocked sideways, trying to convince a calf that barbed wire wasn't an invitation. Humming to myself, just enjoying that kind of quiet you only get when the nearest Starbucks is 60 miles off. Then I spotted a black luxury SUV gliding up along the edge of the neighbor's property line. Meadow Pines Estates. If you've never seen suburban sprawl metastasize, you're lucky. Designer homes, hedges clipped into cubes, folks who pay somebody else to clean their grill. And out steps the queen bee herself, Karen Hoffmeister, Meadow Pines, HOA president, cashmere sweater, in the July sun, clipboard in hand like it's an extension of her arm. "Mr. Briggs," she calls, voice pitched like she's doing me a favor. "Do you have a moment to discuss some community concerns?" I finished tightening my wire, leaned against a post, wiped my hands on my jeans. "Not really, but since you're already trespassing, why not make it quick?" Her nose wrinkled like the air itself was an insult. She rattled off a list: olfactory disturbances, visual pollution, barbed wire, unpainted sheds. I told her, "This is a working farm, Karen. My cows smell like cows. My shed's not unpainted, it's rust-colored. And this right here is outside your HOA's reach." She started talking about adjacency nuisances and transitional buffer concerns, which translated just meant they didn't like looking at my life. "We're forming a subcommittee," she said. "There are concerns about disease vectors, barbed wire, livestock exposure." I just smiled, told her razors are for prisons, barbed is for cows, and for folks with Lexuses who get too close. That was the first shot fired, I guess. She left in a huff, didn't even bother hiding the revenge glint in her eye. Whiskey trotted over, sniffed the air, and gave a little growl, smarter than most folks I know. That afternoon, a letter appeared in my mailbox. No stamp, just HOA letterhead full of big words like proximity obligations and visual pollution, unsigned. I tossed it in the wood stove. Paper like that burns real fast, in case you're wondering. That night, sitting on my porch, beer in hand, stars so bright you could count the holes in Orion's belt, I knew it wasn't over. Silence never lasts out here, not when someone's itching to break it. Sure enough, next day I was repairing the solar inverter when I heard tires on gravel, the kind of deliberate, official crunch that says, "We're here to make your life interesting." County vehicle. Young Deputy Environmental Inspector in tow. "Mr. Briggs, we received a complaint," they said, "about unregulated waste, illegal livestock housing, water runoff could be hazardous." I almost laughed. "You're standing on a solar-powered, rain-filtering, EPA-certified off-grid operation. You're more likely to find uranium in your lunchroom than in my chicken coop." They followed me around, took photos, inspected everything hell I had, every permit laminated and mounted in the shop. When they finished, the inspector looked tired and kind of pissed, not at me, at whoever sent them. The Deputy Reeves lagged behind, asked if he could talk off the record. "Your place is cleaner than my break room." "Who'd you piss off?" I just pointed over at Meadow Pines. Karen came by, wanted me to make my cows smell like air freshener. Apparently, livestock offends her HOA sensibilities. He snorted, said she'd called them last year over a boat trailer parked near a bird bath. Some people. That's when it started, the parade of official vehicles, zoning, USDA fire marshal, even a health inspector who thought I was running an exotic animal ring. Every time I handed over paperwork, every time they left red-faced, and every time you guessed it, Karen had shown up near the fence just before the complaint. I sent all the footage to Reeves, and after a while, he stopped answering, probably couldn't keep up. Then came the night Karen called 911. Claimed I was burning hazardous waste, that there were chemicals, acid smells, maybe even a fire. Only thing burning was the newspaper she waved in front of my security cam, trying to make smoke for effect before running off, coughing like she'd just survived Chernobyl. I gave Reeves the footage. "You want to press charges?" he asked. Damn right. They arrested her. Turns out she bragged about it on a HOA group chat. She made bail, but the smug was gone. If you think that's where things cooled off, you don't know Karen. 2 nights after her release, Whiskey's growling at the north fence. Next morning, I check the cam. There's Karen, 2 a.m., white bathrobe, hanging a porcelain doll on my fence post, turning to stare straight at the camera. Not the neighborhood committee smile this time, more like she was daring the land to blink. Then came signs nailed to my private road: biohazard cow piss, Ebush cancer spray painted right over my no trespassing sign. Guess who the camera caught doing it? Whiskey started barking every night around 3 a.m. I quit sleeping in my bed, started napping in the recliner with the shotgun beside me. Peace doesn't last when someone's chipping at it night after night. Then arson. First it was a little hay bale near the tree line caught in time by a sensor. The next week, a petition in the mail, pages of signatures, all demanding I shut down Iron Valley Acres. Some were real, some forged, including the name of a guy who'd been dead 2 years. I'd had enough, turned everything over to my lawyer, Marisol Vega, tough, sharp, the kind who could gut a committee with her pinky finger. She flagged it all for fraud. But things got meaner. My workers started getting threats. One found his truck keyed. Another got a note: "Go back to town or get burned." Someone tried dumping bleach in my cattle trough. Only thing that stopped them was the dog alarm. Next morning, graffiti everywhere, even on the HOA's own sign: "Stop the farm. Cleanse the land." Now, it wasn't just Karen, it was a group calling themselves the Committee for Neighborhood Purity, like something out of a cult doc. They had a website with drone footage graphics about disease vectors, even claims that I was running some kind of mutant pig experiment. I don't even have pigs. It got louder, literally. One night, sirens blaring at 3:30 a.m., speakers hidden on their side of the fence. Cows panicked, security lights flashing me out there barefoot, rifle in hand, heart hammering, wondering if the world had lost its mind. It had, at least Karen had. And then the big one. Motion sensor tripped almost midnight. Whiskey alert at the door, 3 figures in hoodies, one carrying a duffel. They move fast, low, one pulls out a gas can, another has a crowbar, and the slow one Karen herself. When I heard her say, "Pour it on the straw, it'll catch faster," that was all I needed. I flanked them, shotgun leveled, down now. One guy ran, one froze, and Karen, trying to bolt, face planted right into the fence. Whiskey pinned her down till the deputies came. Inside, the duffel map of my property, hand-drawn notes. Weak gate, dry straw, no camera here. They found HOA funds, paid for every bit of it. Zip ties, gas can, even a burner phone her husband used to call in a fake fire report to pull police off my side of the county. The icing. The third guy was Brett, the HOA treasurer. Karen's own name tag in her backpack, still shiny. Courtroom was a circus. Karen's lawyer swung between community stress and hormonal imbalance, brought in a psychiatrist who admitted the HOA paid him for advice but never told authorities how bad she'd gotten. Judge didn't buy it. Psychiatric evaluation said paranoid delusional disorder with obsessive-compulsive traits. Karen, unfit to stand trial, was sent to a secure hospital for 15 years, barred from coming within a mile of my land. As she was let out, She looked at me and whispered, "I stopped the infection." That smile she gave me, I still see it sometimes, nightmares or not. But that wasn't the end. Marisol called 2 days later, HOA financial subpoenaed, and every expense for their campaign was paid with dues money. Embezzlement, fraud, the works. 3 board members quit. The rest tried to distance themselves, but too late. We sued. My workers joined, so did a neighbor whose name got forged. County and state opened criminal inquiries. In the end, the judge dissolved. Meadow Pines HOA gave out conditional sentences, asset forfeiture. I was awarded $1.2 million in damages. Didn't feel like a win. Just felt like clearing tornado wreckage. I built the guest house I'd always wanted, fixed the fences, upgraded the sensors, bought back the 5 acres that used to be Karen's backyard, and put up a sign, "No Karen Zone, peaceful land for peaceful minds." You'd think it'd end there, but the story grew. Legs reporters, law students, even a senator stopped by. The case changed state law. Now, if an HOA calls in fake emergencies, that's a felony. They called it the Briggs provision. Most days it's quiet again. Whiskey naps on the porch, the grass whispers, and sometimes I even find myself smiling at the silence. Every time I walk by that "No Karen Zone" sign, I remember what it cost to defend this place. And I can't help but wonder, how far would you go to defend your own patch of peace? Would you stand your ground or let them run you off? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me your story, your battle, your win or loss. Because out here, silence is earned, and sometimes it's the loudest answer of all.